Hello and welcome everyone, we Weeb online, and today I'm gonna start a new series called Naruto the Iron Man of Konoha Part 1. If you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and to watch more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel and turn that bell notification on so you never miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
But why can't you teach me? Naruto Uzumaki inquired in front of his sensei Hadake Kakashi in the Konoha hospital. Look Naruto, I only put you in the chunin exam for the same reason I put Sakura in it. For experience. I never expected you to pass the second round. And the only reason you did was because you couldn't control your bodily functions and farted in Kiba's face. Deep down you know that was the only reason you won that match. You are not ready for the exams. I have asked another jounin to take this month and train you. It's always about Sasuke. Naruto said, narrowing his eyes. If you spent half the time training near Sakura as you do Sasuke, I might have believed you bullshit story just told me. But I know you never cared about either of us. All you have ever cared about is Sasuke. As Kakashi walked away, leaving Naruto standing in the hallway. Well, screw you, Kakashi. I'm going to train myself and fight Neji and beat him. And then I'm going to beat everyone until I get to Sasuke and leave him lying in the dirt. Even if I have to make a deal with Kyuubi to do it, Naruto said as he turned and began walking down the hall, ignoring the terrified looks he was getting. As Naruto approached the stairwell, a hand grabbed him from an open room and jerked him inside before slamming the door shut behind him. Are you really willing to do anything to defeat the Uchiha? You would be willing to utilize the Kyuubi? A man with brown hair and brown eyes asked Naruto as he rose from the floor. As he gazed around the room, Naruto said, "Who are you? Answer the question, Naruto. Does showing you're not worthless mean that much to you that everyone who doesn't hate you now hates you for using it? Do you really feel like you have no options?" The man demanded. "Yeah, I have nothing to lose. Nobody cares about me, and nobody would care if I died tomorrow. So why not?" Naruto said, glaring. "If using the damn Kyuubi that everyone hates is the only way anyone will ever see me as anything other than the dead last idiot who doesn't even deserve to live, then so be it. What if there was another way? A method that may cost you your life, but if you lived it would give you everything you need to achieve in life and never be the failure that everyone thinks you are. Would you be prepared to accept the risk?" The guy asked after staring at Naruto for several minutes. "Good. Come to this place tonight at 8 and try not to be observed," the man added as he handed Naruto a business card after a few seconds of contemplation. "This is near the outside of the village where scarcely anyone lives," Naruto thought as he scanned the address and inquired, "Who are you?" As he started to leave the room, the man muttered, "Someone who wishes to repay an old obligation. Good day." Naruto took a glance at the address, frowned for a time, and then walked away. To 8 p.m. Naruto arrived at the address and observed a two-story house with multiple shattered windows. As he looked about, a voice said, "Oh Naruto, glad you could make it," prompting Naruto to turn around and see the man from earlier. And Naruto inquired, "So what are you looking for?" "Come on boy, I don't have all day," the man remarked as he walked to the side of the house and opened the cellar door. Naruto took one last look around before going inside and down the stairs for nearly 50 feet until he came to a large stone room with a man working at a table who said, "I am sure you are wondering what I meant earlier, and who I am. Well, I won't tell you my name because I wish to protect my family, but I can tell you what I meant. You see, I know who your father was," widening Naruto's eyes. "Who?" Naruto inquired. The man chuckled and said, "We will get to that in a moment. The debt I owe is to him. Before you were born I was a metallurgist and my wife was a cybernetic researcher. We both worked under the King of Snow Country researching for ways to save that country. His brother Dadu pulled both of us away from what we were working on to try and help protect the country by creating new type of armor for the ninja there. Since he was the brother to the king and the king had allowed his brother to help with the research in other areas, we believed he had the right to ask us to do it, so we began to work on creating just that. A new type of armor that would help protect the people of the land of snow. We discovered though that Dadu was planning to take his army and kill his brother, taking over the country, so we took as much of our data as we could and fled from the country. We had almost escaped him completely, but his men caught us a month after we had left our homeland and captured us and took our data. As they were preparing to take us out of Fire Country, your father happened to be passing by and my wife took a chance and screamed for help. He came and attacked the men who had us prisoner and freed us, but one man took a small portion of our research and made it back to Snow Country. What occurred after he saved you and who was he?" Naruto sighed as he began to fall asleep, and he remarked, "Since you talk about him in the past tense, does that mean he is dead?" "Yes, he died the same night you were born. I have no idea who your mother was. As for what happened after that, He brought us here to Konoha and helped create a new identity for my wife and me. And he sent a team to Snow Country to warn the king of his brother's plan. Unfortunately, Dadu took the small information that the ninja had recovered and created a weaker version of what my wife and I created, which he called snow armor. And while the "So what are you saying me exactly? My head hurts," Naruto questioned, dizzy. What I am telling you, Naruto, is that what my wife and I invented is what I plan to give you. The original prototype armor. I had originally planned on letting what we created be lost forever because I felt the world would suffer as a result of it. And I did not want the blood of innocence on my hands any more than it already is for what Dadu created from my work. But then I saw what happened to you. And since I knew who you were and saw what happened to you, I decided to give. Yeah, Naruto, who was leaning against the wall, answered. I'm glad, the man said. Naruto Namikaze, son of Minato Namikaze. Sleep well, Namikaze ... The that's name of the Yondai, was Naruto's last thought before passing out. When the man noticed Naruto passing out, he turned around and put on a gas mask. Forgive me, the man murmured as he walked up to Naruto and laid him on the table in the middle of the room. Grabbing a scalpel from the table he was at and cutting Naruto's garments off before grabbing a new scalpel and placing it at Naruto's chest and slowly cutting it. Naruto sighed as he awoke and opened his eyes, thinking, why is it so dark? Because you need a few moments for your brain to reboot. A female voice remarked. Please remain motionless until the system check is complete. Naruto's eyes widened and he exclaimed, who's there? As he noticed a light above him and small lines with words he didn't recognize emerged in his vision, prompting him to inquire. What is this? This is the tactical display you are seeing in front of you, a female voice said, as a diagram of armor appeared in the center of the screen and spun slowly before disappearing into the corner. And the voice said, this is the prototype body armor. You Naruto Uzumaki are now the operator of this armor. I am Eva, the electronic virtual avatar. If you have any questions, please just think them and I will hear them because I am a part of you and so people do not think. Like this? Naruto thought as he blinked. Yes, Eva replied, now slowly raise your arms. Yeah, however I do feel like they are heavier. Naruto responded as he moved his right arm and then his left. Your body will quickly adapt to the weight, Eva stated. Now try your legs. Naruto complied, and Eva remarked, good, now get up and gaze to your left in the mirror. Naruto sat up slowly, glanced in the mirror, blinked, and asked, what's going on? I thought I was wearing some super armor, but I don't appear any different save for the fact that I'm wearing new black clothes with no weapon holsters. That's because I have a built-in stealth feature, Eva explained. Think of it as a super henge, to see what you're really wearing. Speak or think stealth shield drop. Stealth shield drop. Naruto murmured as his body was abruptly changed with crimson armor with a gold face mask and gold in several other locations. Naruto took a step back, surprised, and said, whoa, as he realized he was looking at himself in the mirror and inquired, is that me? Yes, Eva replied. How do I get it off? Naruto inquired. The armor is now a part of you. There are seals all along your body that will conceal the armor so you can shower or do other things of that nature. But if I detect danger to you, I will instantly unseal the armor and restore it to you. To seal it, think seal armor and the armor will seal. And to restore the armor, think restore armor. To restore the stealth shield, think restore stealth. So, what can you do? Naruto inquired, frowning. I have many functions that I will be pleased to educate you about over the next 3 weeks, Eva remarked. However, I recommend that you close the armor and inspect yourself so that you are aware of the various changes you have undergone. Seal armor, Naruto thought, and the armor vanished. Naruto spotted black lines running from his neck, hands, and arms toward his chest, and he noticed a bulge in his chest, which he rubbed and thought, what the hell? That's one of the things I was talking about, Eva remarked. Take off your shirt. Naruto yanked his shirt off, revealing a silver circle the size of each of his fists in the center of his chest, with a blue glow emanating from it. There were also black lines flowing from his stomach to it, as well as lines running throughout his entire body, all of which were pointing toward it, prompting him to ask, what is that, Eva? That is the armor's power device. The seal lines connected to it follow your chakra network to go over your entire body, including the chakra from the kyuubi inside your stomach. I won't bore you with all the technical details because you won't understand them, but basically your kyuubi and your chakra are now one. The chakra your heart creates to go to your body now goes directly into that device, as does the chakra from kyuubi where both are merged. Naruto's eyes widened and he exclaimed, cool. I'm glad you enjoy it, Eva remarked, but you'll die if this device is damaged, so you must preserve it while you're not wearing the armor. I see, Naruto remarked, frowning. So what now? How long was I asleep? It's been 1 week since the preliminary round, and you still have 3 weeks. Eva added. I need to train in 3 weeks, Naruto yelled. Relax, Naruto, and I will assist you. I am more than simply armor, Eva stated. Alright, Eva, tell me what to do, Naruto said. Naruto stepped into the chunin exam stadium 3 weeks later, smiling and walking toward the other genins. Wearing the same black jeans and black top he had when he woke up, Shikamaru squinted his eyes and remarked, I see you bought some decent garments, Naruto. Yet I don't see any weapon pouches. Troublesome, Shikamaru thought to himself. That's funny. Why does his shadow depict his hair as flat and curved while his hair seems like it is spiky like normal? Yeah, consider that one of countless late birthday presents from my father, Naruto remarked. Did the kid learn who his parents are after all this time? Genma wondered as he chewed his senbon. I hope he did and that they didn't just abandon him. You're different now, Naruto. Shino continued, your chakra isn't as abnormal as it previously was. Oh that, Naruto responded. Let's just say for the first time in a long time, my mind and body are actually at peace. Sakura gazed at Naruto from the top of the stand. And Ino commented, well, he's not half awful now that he's out of the orange nightmare. I'm wondering where Sasuke-kun is, and what's up with Naruto? He seems different, and I can't put my finger on it, Sakura stated. You look like a tremendous burden has been lifted from your shoulders, a guy said, smiling. I hope my gift makes up for the agony you felt. Your father would be proud of you. It would also help my daughter realize that the Hyuga is not indestructible. As he narrowed his eyes and tried to dispel any genjutsu Naruto could have on him, the third thought to himself, It appears Naruto had an interesting month off. I wonder why he came here unarmed. Or did he? No, he couldn't know who his father is. It's not conceivable. The third thought as he read Shikamaru's lips and then Naruto. He pointed to the guard beside him and whispered, please bring Naruto here a second. I'd like to interrogate him about his partner and instructor. Pardon me for a moment, but the Hokage would like to speak to Uzumaki regarding his missing partner in instruction, he stated as the guard nodded and vanished in a cloud of leaves. Naruto approached the guard, who placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder before both of them vanished in a swirl of leaves and reappeared on the Hokage box. People in the audience began to murmur. According to one, did something happen to Sasuke? Where are Kakashi and Sasuke? Did that lad do something to the Uchiha? Did that boy do something to the Uchiha? Please give us a moment, the third replied, motioning to the guard. Both guards vanished in a flurry of leaves and reappeared across the street. Naruto said so. Jiji, how are you doing? If it's about Sasuke team and Kakashi team, I'm clueless because Kakashi told me the day of the preliminary round that I wasn't worth his time. In fact, I was debating whether or not I could switch teams after this exam. Even if it's only for a little time, I could stand in for Lee while he recovers. Or I could join a squad that is short-handed. I will consider it, Naruto. But if Kakashi did not train you for the month, then who did? The third said, frowning as he heard what Kakashi said and then Naruto's request. Oh yeah, let's just say a debt to my father has been settled, Naruto explained. The third looked perplexed and inquired, your paternal grandfather. Do you have any idea who he is? I mean, I've never done. Naruto interrupts him with a snort and says, Jiji, put it down. I see why you didn't tell me or anyone else who my father was now. His assailants would almost certainly have killed me or destroyed the village by now. I've given it some thought and believe you made the correct decision. I would have probably announced to the world that my father's standing in this hamlet was equivalent to yours, but I don't care right now. He died so quickly that I'm guessing he didn't leave me anything. But I'd like to know whether my mother is still alive. If she left me anything, and who she is, the third remarked. Frowning, Kushina Uzumaki was her name, and she died of problems shortly after giving birth to you. They were modest folks who only cared about their own privacy. Any money they left for you, as well as any scrolls or other items they left for you, would be in the ownership of your godfather Jiraiya of the Sannin. His responsibilities keep him away from the village for up to a year at a period, and he couldn't care for you on the road, so he sends money to help, and he wants to take you on as his apprentice once you're strong enough for what he needs to teach you. I'm sorry, but there's nothing else I can say or give you. Naruto said it's not an issue at all, Jiji. I'm relieved to find that they didn't simply forsake or despise me because of Kyuubi. That's strange. Something is amiss with this guy as he ascends the stairwell. His skin is no longer alive. So that is your strategy, Orochimaru. The third thought for a while, then said thank you for providing me with information about your buddy and Sensei Naruto. I wanted to wish you the best of success today and thank you for the advice. I'm all set. As the two guards reappeared, one went to reach for Naruto who had simply walked off the balcony, and the Sandaime and both guards ran over and looked at Naruto who was falling to the ground below. Naruto saw the Kazekage walk up and saw the look on the Sandaime's face and said take care Jiji. As the two guards reappeared and one went to reach for Naruto who had simply walked off the balcony, and the Sandaime and both guard. Sakura cried Naruto as she watched him slide past, and other people were stunned. As he was about to touch the ground, something caused the dirt to fly around, covering the area, and Naruto emerged from the dust to say something to the other genin. It appears that Sasuke is picking up on Kakashi poor sensei's habit, and will arrive 3 hours late. Is he disqualified for wasting the time of all of our guests if this happens? Or does he deserve preferential treatment? Everyone is treated the same in these exams, youngster, Genma added. Naruto said so, in 3 hours, tell me that. So, how prepared are we? Before I meet the winner of Shino and Shikamaru, I have 2 models for the homosexual pedophile weekly to deal with. Shikamaru murmured troublesome as Neji glared and a few people snickered. What makes you so convinced you'll make it to the 3rd round? Temari asked. Trade secret toots. Naruto shrugged. I can easily make it to the 3rd round. In fact, not only will I make it to the 3rd round, but I will shame you for what you did in the preliminary round. What? She your girlfriend or something? Temari snorts. I figured she was your girlfriend because of the way you swore on her blood to avenge the Hyuga girl the other Hyuga beat. And of course there's that weak pink-haired slut who you also cheered for. But I guess that means Leaf Kunoichi are easy. Hardly, babe. Women of Konoha have a class that other women can only aspire to, and they hold themselves to standards a dirt rubber like you could never claim to have. As for being my girlfriends, nope. They're all Leaf Ninja and we watch out for our own. And even Kyuubi was fucked when he met me. I was born to protect Konoha. As Naruto and Temari conversed, Genma used hand seals to ensure that everything they said was magnified for everybody to hear. When Naruto said they held themselves to higher standards, several women blushed, and when he said they took care of their own, several ninja looked at him with a little respect. When he said they took care of their own, most people paled, but a few more respected him after that statement, if only a little. Temari was furious, and Genma, smirking, remarked, well, as much fun as it was to hear you both verbally combat each other. That's not why we're here. Have to keep our visitor entertained. Naruto explained. Because Kakashi team and Sasuke team will most likely arrive 3 hours late. As Kakashi always is. Quite you, Genma replied, glaring. As I was saying, the chunin selection exam is now underway, with the first bout between Neji Hyuga and Naruto Uzumaki. Would everyone else kindly vacate the arena floor? Temari gave Naruto a cold stare as she walked away, leaving Naruto and Neji in the ring with Genma. Now the regulations are the same as before. You both will fight until your opponent is unable to continue or until I proclaim a winner. And if you continue to attack after I halt the match, I will personally deal with you. Now the first match begins, Genma said. You are fated to lose this bout. A dead last like you could never hope to defeat a prodigy like me. Neji stated as Naruto walked slowly approaching Neji, making everyone blink. Sure, yeah, I'm sexy and you want to see me nude. Naruto yawned as he continued walking, causing several people to spit out their drinks. Kiba was lying on the floor giggling as Hinata eeped as she passed out. Sakura smacked her temples and exclaimed, Baka, 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 back. Tenten was taken aback and thought to himself, oh boy, he's fucked. Oh god, that was priceless, the man who assisted Naruto thought as he choked on his soda. More people burst out laughing as Neji activated his eyes and Naruto put his hands in front of his crotch and stated, do you mind? I'm straight. The youngster has the gall to disrespect the Hyuga clan. Hayashi reasoned. You are within my range of, remarked Neji, peeping. Naruto murmured, interrupting him. 2 palm, 4 palm, 8 palm, 16 palm, 32 palm, 64 palm strike. Neji remarked with a smug expression on his face that suddenly frowned as he looked at Naruto, who yawned after the attack. And he said, was that supposed to do something? Neji inquired, how did you do it? I'm pretty sure I got all 64. How did you do it? As he looked about, wide-eyed, while Neji was still stunned, Naruto smirked and grabbed him by the front of his coat. And Neji began to hit Naruto with palm strikes to the face and chest. And Naruto slowly lifted Neji off the ground until he was a foot off the ground, and Neji screamed, Why dot 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 or dot 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 my dot 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 attacks dot 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 not dot 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 working dot dot dot. Naruto drew back his hand and stated as he began slapping Neji across the face. First the left cheek, then the right, then the left, and so on. With each slap, how did you do it? Dare, you, beat, up, like Hinata, that, you, jack, ass, you, are, nothing, but, abusive, ass, hole, who, attacks, defenseless, woman, when, they, can't, even, stand, up, if, that, what is it, you, call, a prodigy, then, I am, glad, I am, a dead. In the end he drew back his fist and punched Neji in the face, knocking her 20 feet back. Neji slowly stood up and winced as he ran his palm across his face when the Naruto he had been fighting suddenly erupted, pushing Neji back into the wall and knocking him out. Across the field where Naruto had landed earlier was another cloud of smoke, revealing the real Naruto. Winner Naruto Uzumaki, Genma remarked, blinking and looking back and forth. Everyone was surprised, and Naruto strolled over to the other candidates and buffed his fingers against his chest, saying, "That was too simple." Tenten blinked as the crowd erupted in applause, thinking to himself, he won, but how? Bunshin Bakua, Genma reflected, but how could it withstand all those strikes? Hayashi Hyuga pondered, what was it again? It was never intended to be a Bunshin Bakua. The Cage Bunshin absorbed the chakra from Neji's attack to power up before it exploded. But if that is what really happened, then how did he do it? He thought as he looked at Naruto with his bloodline activated and thought the Cage Bunshin absorbed the chakra from Neji's attack to power up before it exploded. But if that is what really happened, then how did he do it? Several ninja from all throughout the arena had reached the same conclusion, each praising Naruto. The Sandian pondered, Naruto is extremely outstanding. No one in Konoha could do such a jutsu, so you'll have to tell me how you learnt it. There is the medical jutsu that the genin on the Kabuto team employed, but it can only absorb through direct contact with the skin and burns the amount received evenly, preventing him from having the clone explode. According to the Keisuke Hokage-sama, that is a truly outstanding technique. I was completely unaware that such a jutsu existed. According to the Sandian, neither was I. am curious as to how he got upon it. Perhaps we'll find out later. The Keisuke remarked, would Sasuke, Uchiha and Gaara kindly come to the arena floor? Genma requested from the arena floor. Gaara sat with his arms folded on the arena floor. Genma looked about, and Naruto screamed, you'd be better off waiting. I warned you he'd be 3 hours late since Kakashi is always 3 hours late. I can fight him if you want. Troublesome blondes, Shikamaru muttered. Shut up, both of you, Temari hissed with a frown. Shikamaru inquired as Naruto chuckled, so, Naruto, how did you do that? How did you manage to absorb Neji chakra and make that clone explode? Naruto leaned against the wall, shrugging. I can't prolong his time because everyone heard me say nobody would get special treatment. Genma scowled. The third idea is I don't have a choice, Kakashi. With Naruto's statement before the match about receiving special treatment, which was overheard by some in the audience, and his statement just now, the feudal lord is going to demand an explanation as to why I changed the rules for him. And with Orochimaru here, I have to keep the sharing out of his hands. And he stood up, walking to the edge of the balcony, and said, honored guests, Sasuke Uchiha will lose his chance at promotion in the examinations because he did not show up for his duel and dishonored himself, the community, and you. Surely we might extend him some time. The Keisuke remarked, because I wanted to see his bout. I realized that and I do have a plan, so please wait, the third said as he turned back to the audience, which was becoming increasingly loud. Now that so many of you have come to see him fight, I have decided that he will fight the winner of the exam but will not be allowed to be promoted, he said as he turned and sat back down. The Keisuke pondered, this is a disaster. I wanted Sasuke to be here so that my men could make sure he didn't perish during the invasion. I'll have to put it off till he gets here. Winner Gaara, Genma said from below. Temari scowled and Kenkuro muttered, what should we do? I can't fight because I have to save it for the plan. Gaara glared at Genma and shushed back to the balcony. And Gaara growled at Genma and shushed back to the balcony. Would Shino, Aburame and Kenkuro kindly come to the arena floor? Genma said. Several people booed Kenkuro as he said, I forfeit. Naruto, Shino, and Shikamaru all looked at the Suna genin, and Naruto stepped over to the corner, saying, Shino, Shikamaru, can I talk to both of you for a second? I don't know what's going on, but while I was talking with the old guy earlier, I saw something wrong with the Keisuke. All the flesh on his face was dead, and I don't mean worn out or anything like that. I mean dead and starting to decompose. Naruto stated. My bugs don't like Gaara's chakra, just like yours used to be, Naruto, Shino explained. What should we do? Something doesn't feel right about this, Shikamaru stated as Naruto's eyes widened. Looks like it's time for your match, Shikamaru, Naruto replied. Shikamaru nods and says, I forfeit, eliciting boos from the audience, prompting Naruto to inquire, why? In a hissing tone, if there's something going on here, I'll need my chakra later, Shikamaru remarked, so I'll save it. Are you sure you can fight Gaara? Shikamaru asked. Yeah, Naruto answered, but I'm not sure how good I'll be after that match. You take care of Gaara, I'll take care of Kankuro, and Shikamaru will take care of Temari if things truly do go wrong here. Shino replied, right, I don't like this, Naruto remarked, but I have a sense something is extremely wrong here. Temari yelled as she returned to the balcony. Why did you forfeit, your lazy bum? Simple problematic woman, Shikamaru remarked. Leaf Ninja, keep an eye on our own. You crossed the line with one of ours, so one of ours will cross the line with you. Yes, Shikamaru, Naruto muttered as he vaulted over the rail and landed hard, causing a small crater about 5 feet wide. I just wonder if she will even get to me when Shino lets his bugs go on her. What is that sluggish bum doing? He could defeat that sand bitch, yelled Ino from the stands. It has to be male egos, Sakura stated with a shake of her head. Something's going on here, Asuma remarked, narrowing his brows as he heard Shikamaru decelerate. He didn't quit to let Naruto deal with her ... He quit to conserve his chakra ... That Kankuro guy did it as well. You think they know something we don't? He questioned, looking at Kurenai beside him. I agree, Kurenai said as she began to look around the area at each of the Suna ninja in the crowd. Look at Shino's jacket. He has uncuffed his sleeves so he can release his hive faster. And they are standing where they can see the 2 genin from Suna ... They must know about the possible attack today and suspect Suna. Shibai began to send bugs down the arm of the chair toward the Suna nins to drain their chakra. Shikaku and Shibai both narrowed their eyes at their sons and came to the same conclusion. As Naruto and Gaara stood across from each other, Genma sprang back and stated, I hope you both are ready. Fight, Mother says you powerful. Mother wants your blood, Gaara stated as the cork on his gourd popped out and into the ground, and sand began to shoot out of his gourd and circle Gaara. Naruto waited until the sand lunged at him, as it had attacked Lee, and then he rapidly raised his right arm, causing an explosion to impact the sand coming toward Naruto. And Naruto was on the move, running toward the arena's walls. Gaara, who had been temporarily halted in his attack by the explosion, sent his sand after Naruto, who was now stuck to the wall. And as the sand reached up to grab him, Naruto raised his right arm again. A faint glint was reflected, and a few people saw a Senbon needle heading toward Gaara, while Naruto was running full speed across the wall with the sand chasing him when an explosion hit where Gaara was standing. As the smoke from the explosion cleared, everyone turned to stare at Gaara, who was mumbling to himself as the sand armor around him began rebuilding itself. You were right, Eva. His sand assaults would withdraw to defend Gaara when an immediate threat is there. Those rocket Senbon needles are good. But it appears that he has a second protection that I wasn't aware of and was able to save him. What do you suggest? Naruto pondered. According to sonar readings, there is a pipe 20 yards east of your position with water in it. I'll pinpoint the spot on your HUD, and once you get the water, you can execute the jutsu, Eva explained. Naruto saw a marker appear on his vision and realized the sand was chasing him again. So he started running around the wall with the sand chasing him again. And when he was across from them, he raised his right arm again and another Senbon flew across the stadium, hitting the wall and causing the wall to blow open with water spraying lightly out of the wall. Ino, who was sitting in the audience, inquired, how is he making those blasts, Sakura? I'm not familiar with Ino, Sakura stated. As both girls glanced and saw Tenten, a voice from a few seats back remarked, exploding Senbon needles. Hey, you're the girl from the examinations, Ino said. Tenten said, and you're both the banshees who had more of a cat fight than a ninja fight. So you know how Naruto is doing it then, Sakura remarked. I know part of it. I saw them as they flew, Tenten explained. But I don't know how he's launching them or even carrying them because he's not tossing them and I don't see any weapon pouches. He could have them under a jinjutsu. But I don't think so because I haven't been able to dispel one. As the water began to quickly build a mist that enveloped the entire arena floor, Naruto smirked and jumped off the wall he was running on, flashing through hand seals and saying hidden mist no jutsu. As Gaara searched the area for Naruto, the sand began to form a ball around him. A sand eye materialized in mid-air above the fog. What now? Pondered Naruto, who was hiding in the fog. Radar has picked up an object floating in the air above the mist, Eva explained. Based on the display, I assume it is a spying orb of some kind, and I believe destroying it would be good. Do you have the location of Gaara? Naruto thinks as he nods. I'm switching to inferred and UV. Eva explained. Naruto's HUD screen changed from normal to red and purple overlapping each other, and he saw two shapes, one of which was inside a dome, and he thought to himself, that must be him. Do you think that can piece that shell? Using a 40% charge should work. Eva answered after a few moments of silence. But that means I have to lose my cloaking shield. Naruto sighed as he looked at the power reading in the top right corner, which was slowly growing from 60%. You're right, Eva said. Do it, Naruto thought as he sighed. Naruto's cloak fell away, revealing him in his armor, and he raised his left arm toward the misty dome. Holding his palm up as a blue diamond in his glove began to shine with chakra. Everyone became anxious as they sensed a big chakra building up around them. As he sensed this, the third tensed, as did the Kazekage. Eva, as soon as you have enough strength to repair the cloak, do it, Naruto thought as he saw the power readout on the side drop to 20% remaining. Naruto jerked his upheld wrist and a blue shock wave of chakra blasted out of the gem. Gaara's floating eye noticed the chakra approaching Gaara's shell, and the sand around it began to thicken. When the shockwave hit the shell, an explosion rocked the entire stadium, sweeping dust and dirt into the area and blowing away much of the mist. As the dust cleared, two individuals could be seen in the dust cloud, but no one could tell who they were. Finally, Gaara's head could be seen, which was partially covered in sand and had a dull eye. As the smoke cleared, all that could be seen was blue light shining through the dirt until the light faded and Naruto's body was seen standing there panting, saying, Note to self ... get more range for 40% and strengthen my arms with chakra to withstand the kickback. As he fell to one knee panting and holding his left shoulder. Just what the fuck was that? Genma pondered as she gazed at the two. Gaara lowered his head and touched his wounded chest, asking, what is this ... is it ... my blood? As he held his head, sand began to coat his entire body. The earth began to vibrate as the dirt began to slowly spin, and Naruto exclaimed, that can't be good, as a massive hand of sand formed and attempted to close in on Naruto, who exclaimed, shit, as he stooped down and sprang into the air, the hand shooting after him. When Gaara shouted out about his blood, the Suna ninja in the audience were concerned. Temari and Kinkuro were both worried about Gaara. The Sandium looked at the Kazekage, who looked at him, and one of the Suna guards moved forward to kill the Sandium's guard when something blew through the floor, intercepting the kunai that was heading for the guard, and everyone looked and noticed Naruto, who was panting, and he said look out. And suddenly the entire flooring broke apart as the Kazekage was sent flying into the air as a huge fist of all hell broke loose at that point. Shikaku's body was growing on the floor, with the arm already created. Are you alright, Naruto? Said the Sandium, who had landed on a piece of the now ruined cage box. Yeah, but I'm not sure how many more of those sand fists I can take, Naruto remarked, so I'm going to see if I can lure Gaara beyond the village to keep others from getting harmed. Are you sure, Naruto? The Sandium asked, frowning. Trust me, Naruto murmured as he sprang into the air. To the Sandium's surprise, Naruto hovered over the still forming sand monster and raised his right wrist, launching 10 senbon into the sand, causing it to erupt, deflecting attention away from the yellow eyes that had developed. Oi, ugly, follow me, Naruto yelled as he flew away from the village backwards. Shikaku, who had finished forming with Gaara awake on top of its head, screamed, I shall have your blood for mother, as he chased Naruto down the stadium wall, slowly destroying a part. If I can take out Gaara, I can't help the village, Naruto reasoned as he watched several explosions rock the village. Eva, I'm going to hit the head of that thing with every ounce of controlled chakra I have left. When I hit the ground, seal all armor and use my regular chakra. Good thing we found out that the guy who gave this to me didn't want me dying by running out of power. Huh, I understand, Eva responded, and I'll get to work on refilling the power cell as soon as possible. After that, what are your orders? Restore stealth shield and armor when fully recharged, Naruto said. Roger, 12 minutes from deactivation to full recharge. Don't die in those 12 minutes. All power to the hand thrust cannon, Eva replied. Naruto's speed began to drop as he noticed Gaara and the sand demon approaching, and he began to lose his thrust to stay in the air as his armor appeared, and he pointed his left arm at the head of Shikaku. And Eva said now, and Naruto snapped his wrist, and the glowing jewel in his left hand fired a massive ball of chakra that was over 40 feet wide at the head of Shikaku, blasting the head into billions of pieces as Gaara, faced with the choice of seeking retribution or surviving. Shikaku within Gaara soon began to try to keep Gaara alive. Naruto recoiled and began spinning erratically after firing the missile, bouncing off many trees until he landed hard. Naruto's head was shown bleeding from smashing into the armor during the fall as he whimpered "Uo" before passing out as the armor vanished. When Naruto awoke a few moments later, he grumbled and thought to himself, "Uo, my body," as he pushed himself off the ground and screamed, "Oh fuck my arm," as he grabbed his left arm and began rolling, attempting to keep all pressure off it. He finally gained enough control to sit up slowly after many minutes, and he placed his legs under him and carefully stood up, wincing while still holding his left arm. He looked around and saw a way through the shattered tree limbs, and he thought to himself, "Now I know what it's like to play pinball." "You're there, Eva?" "Yes," answered Eva's voice. Naruto sighed and pondered, "Could you perhaps be a little quieter? My brain is exploding." "Is this better?" Eva inquired, her voice becoming softer. "Yeah. So what's the status and how long have I been out?" Naruto wondered. "It's been 4 hours since your encounter with Gaara, and you're only at 25% power total," Eva explained. Naruto blinked and pondered. "Please run it by me once more. I got the 4-hour portion." "But what do you mean I'm only at 25%? By now, I should be totally recovered." After a few moments of silence, Eva spoke up. "Based on my scans of your body over the last 3 weeks, I have numerous possible explanations, but I am unable to establish which is correct at this time. However, they all appear to point to the same thing. The Kyuubi does not provide you with any chakra. The two most likely answers are that the Kyuubi is able to prevent his chakra from being transferred to you in some way, or that something is keeping the Kyuubi chakra from entering your system, and you only notice this now." Naruto grumbled as he looked about. Eva stated, "Because your chakra system was already laden with significant levels of Kyuubi chakra, I was unable to recognize this issue previously. You've been steadily using what was in your system before receiving me for the past 3 weeks, and it's taken this long to use it all up. However, there is some good news." Naruto pondered. "With the amount of anguish I'm in right now, I don't see how anything could be truly new. My recuperation is sluggish since I don't have a fox chakra, which is why I'm so damaged. How awful am I right now?" Eva stated, "Your left arm has been shattered into 20 pieces, and your left shoulder has been severed. You've got 3 shattered ribs as well as a concussion. And the good news," Naruto thought as he sweated, "now that all of the fox chakra has been removed from your coils, only purified controlled chakra will be there, increasing your control," Eva explained. Naruto winced and shook his head, saying, "To that list, I'd like to add a crick in my neck. What is the best route back to the hamlet? And where is Gaara? Wait, where is Eva's armor?" As he examined himself, he noticed the power cell hidden beneath his shirt. Eva stated, "Because of your injuries, I believe turning on the armor will only do additional harm at this time. However, if you like, I can activate the chest armor to conceal the power cell. Gaara should be a mile east of your location, and the village should be 2 miles south. Give me what you can on the armor because I don't want to divulge it if you can," Naruto reasoned. Naruto winced as he watched the armor and then the cloak appear on his chest. "Eva, you made a fantastic choice with the armor. Hold wait on anything else till I've had my arm and head examined." As he began walking eastward, he took it carefully. After 20 minutes, Naruto noticed a large field of sand and turned around to see Gaara stuck with a tree limb in his side. Grimaced as he saw the blood that had run down and dried, and Naruto exclaimed, "Oi, you dead?" Naruto remarked as Gaara sighed a little. "Not at all. Isn't it just hanging?" "Have you come to kill me?" Gaara asked as he struggled to move his head. "No, but if you stay like that for very long, you will die," Naruto remarked when he noticed Gaara staring at him. "Mother has stated the same thing, but she can't bring me down without causing me to bleed to death," Gaara explained. Naruto remarked, blinking. "You spent a lot of time talking about your mother. What happened to her?" "Mother is inside me. Mother has been with me since father sealed mother into me," Gaara remarked after a little pause. Naruto's eyes widened for a second before softening and saying, "Isn't it true that you're a jinchuriki? You are possessed by a demon?" Gaara remarked, "Yes, really. Ikebai no Shukaku is a character in Ikebai no Shukaku." Naruto remarked, "Gaara, I understand how you feel. It hurts to see those glances and hear their remarks because I have the Kyuubi no Kitsune in me. constantly feeling alone when he fixed his gaze on Gaara's. If you really have the Kyuubi in you, why don't you just murder them all and prove your existence? Gaara inquired. Naruto sat down next Gaara's limb and remarked as he walked slowly over, because it would never change anything and would never establish my identity as myself. It would only serve to demonstrate that I was Kyuubi rather than Naruto Uzumaki. After all, no matter how powerful Kyuubi or Shukaku are, we are stronger than them since they are our captives. We are the stronger of them because we are in charge of them. We die if we die, but we do not die if they die. They require our existence, but we do not require theirs. Gaara sat there for a few minutes, contemplating, and then replied, because I am weak against Shukaku. How are you stronger than Kyuubi? He devours my soul if I fall asleep. I'm not sure how I'm going to get stronger. Naruto winced and muttered as he shifted his left arm. Look for something that means a lot to you. Protect your sibling, your community, and your friends with everything you have. Gaara, true strength can only be found when you guard what is important to you. That was once spoken to me by someone very intelligent and powerful, and I honestly believe it. Well said, Naruto, remarked a voice Naruto recognized. Naruto turned around to see the Sandaime approaching him with 4ANBU and remarked, "Hello, Jiji. This is Gaara. He's a jinchuriki as well, but he claims he can't sleep because Shukaku will consume his soul. Do you think you might be able to assist him?" The third said. Gaara, as he stared at her, "I'll see what I can come up with." "Right, you're the Kasuke's youngest son." "Yes," Gaara replied. According to the third, "I hate to break it to you, but it appears that Suna was duped into assaulting our hamlet because after the battle, we discovered your father's face peeled away and left on the ground. Orochimaru, we suspect, was the one who killed him. Your village and the Sound Village have both gone, but your siblings have arrived and are being held in custody until we can figure out what's going on. Are you willing to hand over your seal so that we can get you some medical attention and I can examine it?" Gaara looked at Naruto, who replied, "Gaara, have faith in him. He's one of my prized possessions, and you, too, may be one." "Friends, I've never had pals before," Gaara explained. "Well, you've got one now, how about it?" Naruto asked. Gaara remarked, "That's fine, but I don't have perfect control over my sand. Shukaku is yelling at me right now to kill you all." The third person turned around and said, "Find Jiraiya in the village and bring him here. Hurry, can Jiraiya help Gaara Jiji?" Naruto said once the ANBU had left. According to the third, if anyone can do it, it's him. After all, he was the one who taught your father. Naruto answered with a smile, "Then he might be able to help me as well. Kyuubi chakra has been cut off from me for some reason right now. It could have been when that snake guy punched me in the stomach in the forest of death before I passed out. Now that I think about it, let me see you seal." Naruto, the third grumbled. "Oh shit. Can we wait until later? Somewhere more private?" Naruto murmured, reaching for his shirt. "Does this have anything to do with why you can fly?" The third questioned, his eyes narrowing. Naruto said, "Yes, yes, 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 yes. I was advised not to show anyone because they would try to figure it out and I would die as a result." Eva referred to it as some type of failsafe. "Who's even Naruto?" inquired the third. "Let's just say I have a voice in my head now, but it's not Kyuubi. Hell, she's not even really alive for that." Naruto explained. "Very good." The third grumbled, "But I want to hear everything later." Naruto said, "Okay, that's it. Can you, however, slow down a little? My left shoulders were dislocated. My left arm was smashed into 20 pieces, and I had 3 cracked ribs. I'll have to bring you to the hospital," the third stated, frowning. Naruto remarked, No. I can't risk the danger that someone finds out." When all 4ANBU returned with Kakashi and Jiraiya, the third grimaced and was about to speak. Naruto grimaced and shifted his gaze away from Kakashi, his eyes becoming muted. The third noticed this and inquired, "Kakashi, what are you doing here? I don't recall making a request for you. I was with Jiraiya when the ANBU told him you were here with Naruto, so I came to check on my student," Kakashi explained. "He is being taken care of," the third stated, "so you may go and help with the cleanup." Now, Kakashi frowned and glanced at Naruto before leaving. Naruto winced as he grasped his head. "He's gone now," the third stated after a few moments of waiting. Jiraiya asked, casting a glance towards Naruto and Gaara, "What exactly do you require?" "Sensei, I was on my way to the library to conduct some study." According to the third, "I'd like you to have a look at Gaara's seal. He is the Ikabi's jinchuriki, and the seal appears to be unstable. so I need to keep it under control for the sake of the village's protection before I can bring him medical care. Jiraiya's humorous demeanor shifted as he remarked, okay, that's it. Allow me to examine you, seal baby. Gaara stared at Naruto, who replied, if Jiji says he's fine, Gaara, I'll believe him. He is, after all, my godfather. Jiraiya locked her gaze on Sandaime, who replied before today. He already knew who his father was, so I had to tell him about his mother and you. Don't worry, he won't tell anyone. We can discuss later, youngster, Jiraiya groaned. Gaara drew his shirt to the side to reveal the seal on his chest as the sand disappeared from his body. Naruto remarked, don't be concerned. Unlike Kakashi team, who feels I'm not worth his time, you had a solid reason to not be here for me and provided money so I could live. I guess I'll have a few words with him later, sensei. Jiraiya replied, his expression scowling. According to the third, I'll do the same. Do you recall what that pale-skinned man said as he slammed his fist into your stomach? Naruto. Jiraiya, who was staring at Gaara's chest seal, listened in, and Naruto stated, let me ponder for a moment. After being eaten by that gigantic snake and using cagemanship to make it explode, I dashed to Sasuke and Sakura's location. When I arrived, Sasuke was trembling and threw our scroll to the snake guy, promising to return it if he let us live. I knew he was going to kill us, so I took the scroll and called Sasuke a coward, asking what was keeping him from killing us once he obtained the scroll. The snake guy attacked me and I blanketed the area with cagemanship and destroyed 3 mud clones of him before he decided to use this big snake that tried to eat Sasuke team and Sakura. But I jumped in front of them pissed and crushed the snake's skull with a kunai and my fist ... After that the snake guy used his tongue to hold me in the air by my neck and his fingers glowed a different color. The ANBU in the area were taken aback by what they heard, and the third said, I see what you mean. I believe I know what he used on you, and we'll take care of it when we get back to my office. Jiraiya remarked, after I finish with this youngster, I'll take care of it. It appears that whoever did his sealing did it on purpose. They combined a 3-star seal and a berserker seal. I can heal it, but it will sting for a few minutes and you will pass out, but you will no longer be concerned about the demon. I'd appreciate it. Gaara added, because I need to defend my siblings and my house. Naruto said, when you return, you should aim to become Kazekage so that when I become Hokage, our villages may once again be friends and we won't be duped. How does that sound to you? Yes, I will become Kazekage so that I can safeguard my comrade and his wonderful people, Gaara stated after a few moments of silence as Jiraiya worked on the seal. The third responded, that's great, with a smile that was the quickest peace agreement I've ever seen. Jiraiya, don't you agree? No, the fastest was when I invited Tsunade Hime out for drinks and she launched me into the air with her amazing power. Jiraiya explained. Will you ever learn? Said the third, chuckling. Jiraiya remarked, never, ever. You're all set, child. Gaara nods, and Jiraiya's fingers glowed as he slammed them into what he'd drawn on Gaara's chest, causing Gaara to scream and pass out. Jiraiya paused for a moment before saying, he's okay, but the sand that's keeping him from bleeding to death is falling away. So you better get him to the hospital and fast. According to the third, ANBU, rush him to the hospital for quick treatment and do not let him out of your sight till I arrive. That is not understood by anyone else. They all nodded, and they shushened away after cutting the limb that was keeping him in place. Meet us at my office, the third said as he placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto flinched, and the third switched shoulders and apologized. They hushed up and walked away. Jiraiya took a few steps back and shushened as well. So what's up? He inquired when he entered the Hokage's office. The third stared at Naruto, who had raised the question, I can't risk anyone finding out if you're sure no one can see or hear anything. I'm not sure if I should show you, but I don't have a choice because I require assistance. The third closed the window blinds. Jiraiya locked the door, and the third transmitted chakra to a seal on the desk, which caused the room to light for a little while before the third murmured something. Okay, Naruto. This room is now safe. What's going on? And how did you get here? Eva, stealth shield deactivate. Naruto murmured as Jiraiya blinked. When a pair of armor emerged on Naruto's chest and Naruto muttered seal armor, the Sandaime and Jiraiya's eyes tightened as they saw something bulge on Naruto's chest beneath his shirt. What is that, Naruto? Inquired the third. Both men gasped as Naruto reached for his shirt and winced as he yanked it off, and Jiraiya moved over and said, what happened to you? As he examined the seal lines that ran over Naruto's torso and into the device placed into Naruto's chest. Naruto remarked, I was pissed on the day of the preliminary after Kakashi told me I wasn't worth his time. So I said something about finding a way to beat Sasuke in the exams. even if it meant using Kyuubi or something. And as I was leaving, a guy pulled me into a hospital room and asked if I was really that pissed and felt I had to use the fox for people to see that I wasn't just a worthless piece of trash. And since he handed me a business card with the address of his house written on the back and instructed me to meet him there at 8 p.m. I obeyed. And he led me into the cellar and told me a narrative about how he knew who my father was and how my father had once rescued his wife and his life when they were fleeing from Snow Country. And how because Dad had spared them, he dispatched Kakashi team to tell the king about his brother's betrayal. I don't remember much of it because I was tired and my head hurt as he spoke, but he told me about how he and his wife created the original prototype for snow armor and how he wanted to give it to me before telling me that my father was the Yonde Minato Namikaze and calling me Naruto Namikaze before I passed out. When I awoke, I was alone on a table in that chamber, and a week had gone. I was wearing this snow armor that was both metallurgy and cyber. Robot something. I can't utter those things. Eva in his mind's ear. He heard Eva, metallurgy and cybernetic robotics, remark the third. Yeah, those words, Naruto said. So, Naruto, what precisely is that thing in your chest? The third inquired, frowning. Naruto remarked it serves as the armor's power source, as well as purifying both the Kyuubi and my chakras, allowing me more control over my chakra. Eva, the voice that explains everything to me and helps me comprehend it better, explained that now that my body is free of any remaining Kyuubi chakra, all of the chakra from Kyuubi and me will be purified controlled chakra, allowing me to utilize jutsu more effectively without wasting as much chakra. In the last 3 weeks, she has taught me water walking and the concealed mist jutsu, as well as how to fly and utilize the exploding rocket senbon. And we have done a few test runs with the thrust cannon. How come no one has reported you using these? The third inquired. Naruto remarked, oh, that's simple. I returned to Wave Country and saw Inari and his family after figuring out the basics of flying in about 3 hours in the forests behind the Hokage Memorial. Tsunami is a fantastic cook, and did you know that their bridge is named after me? The Great Naruto Bridge. I expended 80% of my chakra getting there, but just 60% on the way back last night since I had mastered water walking. You should have told me you were leaving Naruto so I could have sent someone with you, the third grumbled. Didn't your secretary give you my letter? Naruto asked, blinking. How did I know my clone handed her that letter? He rubbed his temples. The third remarked, frowning. I see what you mean. Kagebenshin no jutsu. Naruto murmured, suffering in pain as he put his hands together several times until getting them almost in the perfect position and saying Kagebenshin no jutsu. 2 clones formed, one of whom looking sick, and Naruto said, damn, now I'm back down to 10%. You, the excellent one, go read anything quickly in a book to distract yourself. The clone walked over to the bookshelf, picked a book, and opened it, and the clone passed out, disappearing in a cloud of smoke, and Naruto's nose began to bleed, prompting him to say who wrote such nonsense. Who wants to hear about what Elaine and Carol did to John? Hey Gaki, I wrote that, Jiraiya stated as he smacked Naruto in the head, causing Naruto to wince and touch his head, before adding, you wrote that perverted garbage. Jiraiya remarked, I did it, of course. Ika Paradise is a series of books written by me. Ah, you're the person Kakashi jacks off to and why he's 3 hours late, Naruto replied, making both adults sweat. Anyway, it appears that anything a Kagebenshin learns reverts to the original ... Why don't you employ them to do your paperwork, Jiji? Naruto said. The third blinked and blinked as he slammed his head against the desk and screamed. All that time, wasted. He then generated 2 clones and had them begin reading the scrolls on the desk. Anyways, Jiraiya, inspect the Kyuubi seal and those others and see what they do. The third remarked after he made the clones. Channel your chakra, Jiraiya says with a nod. Naruto agreed, and Jiraiya agreed well. You earned a 5-star rating, which I can easily rectify. Keep your body still. As he reached out his palm, it gleamed 5 different colors before slamming it on Naruto's stomach. Naruto yelled, shit, that hurt. 20.25, 0.30, 0.35%. The filter will not let any more in until your body develops more of your chakra. Eva remarked as everyone saw the blue in the crystal on Naruto's chest turn red for a second before turning pink and then blue. Naruto also stated that's all well. I'm at 35% now, but it won't let any more Kyuubi chakra in until my body produces more of its own. Jiraiya remarked, this is really incredible effort. Naruto, whomever did this to you put a lot of thought and effort into it. They implanted an additional set of gates in your body to limit the quantity of Kyuubi chakra that enters the filter at any given time. They weren't seal masters because they utilized so many fundamental seals to perform what they did, but I can tell they wanted to serve you as much as they could. Interesting. They also installed a number of mental barriers to prevent you from being influenced by Kyuubi chakra if the Kyuubi ever managed to break free. I'd like to swap notes with whoever did this on a couple points. What was his name, and what did he seem like, according to you? As he fixed his gaze on Naruto. Naruto said he was approximately the same height as Kakashi, and had brown hair and brown eyes. But he never told me his name, just that his wife died while giving birth to a daughter, and that their father gave them new identities and lifestyles to keep them hidden from the Snow Country person. How are your injuries? Inquired the third. My head feels a little better and my ribs aren't hurting as much, Naruto stated, but I can't tell anything in my arm, Jiraiya stated. Looking at Naruto's arm, his arm is severely wounded. Sensei, I don't believe anyone in Konoha will be able to help, and it will never heal on its own. How did you manage to break it so badly? Naruto remarked the thrust cannon is a weapon used to propel a ship forward. I usually only use 5 or 10% when using it, and I can blow up a tree with that amount. But when I was fighting Gaara and Shukaku, I used 40% first, then around 55% while in the air to blow Shukaku's head off, and it worked. But then I crashed through some trees and hit the ground hard before passing out because I had no power left. But it's likely that I would have died if it hadn't been for my armor. After a brief pause, the third spoke out. Naruto is a Japanese manga series. Do you believe you have the ability to travel? Naruto said yes, but not in the sense of flying or tree hopping. Why? According to the third. First, I raised Naruto Uzumaki to the rank of chunin for courage beyond the call of duty and strategic thought. And you are now Jiraiya's new apprentice. I'm assigning you an S-rank task to find Tsunade and return her to Konoha so she can become the Godame Hokage, as well as to repair Naruto's arm. Everything discussed here is now and will remain a secret to only the three of us. Naruto's eyes widened as he heard chunin and then Godame, and he about to speak when Eva muttered something. It's not a good idea. Simply express your gratitude for your trust in me, and you will be accepted. But why? Naruto wondered. Because you don't want them to think you're a weak moron but a respected ninja, Eva explained. Jiraiya sighed and remarked after seeing Naruto's face change expressions multiple times, thank you for your trust in me. And I accept Chunin's promotion and the assignment. When are we going to leave Iro-sanin? Leading Jiraiya to faceplant and the third to chuckle. Don't call me that, Gaki, Jiraiya remarked, and we can leave as soon as you're packed. Naruto remarked, I carry all I own on my back. While I was gone, I was robbed again, so I have nothing in my flat but torn up furniture. Right, so hide your ... What should we name that thing? Jiraiya remarked, glaring at the third. Naruto remarked, I should warn you both that if this device is destroyed, I shall perish. Give me full armor with the exception of my left shoulder and arm. Eva. Before it hid, both adults noticed Naruto's body was clad in crimson and gold armor, and Naruto muttered, damn. I only have 150 senbon left, so I'll have to buy some more. Does it matter what kind of senbon? Jiraiya inquired. Naruto remarked, typical senbon. When the seals are launched, the launcher in my right wrist automatically engraves and charges them. However, I can only launch 10 per second. Both men's eyes widened as a result. How many can you carry? Inquired the third. Naruto said the number is 500. That seems like a reasonable trade-off for the shurikens and kunais I no longer use. At 100 yards, I can strike a target with a 2 inches accuracy. Is Eva going to teach you anything else? Inquired the third. Naruto remarked, I won't be able to do it unless I spend some time in the snow. Eva has just 20 jutsu under her belt, including water walking and the concealed mist jutsu. The remainder are snow jutsu, as this armor was designed to help Snow Nation ninja better protect their homeland. But that Dadu guy had other ideas. They didn't acquire all of the information about this suit, thankfully, but only bits and pieces from the guy who survived meeting Dad. The third took a scroll from a cabinet and tossed it to Jiraiya, saying, once you've got it on, that's your chunin vest. There will be no research on this mission, Jiraiya. You must locate Tsunade and assist him in his recovery. I received news from Weasel, who stated that they have begun to move and that he will be inspecting the target soon. I see. Come on, kid. We've got a lot of things to do in a limited period of time. Jiraiya replied, his eyes wide. Sure, Naruto responded as he took a step behind Jiraiya. The third deactivated the security seal and said ANBU once they had left. Get me Shino Aburim, Shikamaru Nara, and Hatake Kakashi, said 4ANBU. The four nodded and walked away in a tangle of leaves while the third drew out 2 additional scrolls similar to the one he had given Jiraiya. You know, when you're not hiding like you are now in that thing, Jiraiya remarked, "We need to come up with a code name for you." "Like what?" said Naruto, frowning. "How about Iron Man?" Jiraiya suggested after seeing a photo of a man doing weights.
I will continue the story in next part, so turn on the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Till then, we weeb offline.